Fans, welcome again back to Beresford High School Media Day for the winter sports season. With us is the boys basketball program. Coach Short, maybe you get us started here just talking about the squad. You graduated 6 seniors off of last year's roster. You've got a fair number of returners with some experience, and you'll, again, maybe kind of bring in those new couple of people that are going to fill those final spots. Maybe kind of talk about what you're kind of expecting for the season personnel-wise.
Personnel and as a team, we have high expectations. It's kind of been, since I've been here now, this is my 3rd year, it's been constantly trying to add those building blocks, get better and better each season as an individual, but also as a team. So last year being 15-6, we're expecting to kind of be hopefully around that same spot or even better, and with the additional goal of making a playoff push this year. Like you said, we did lose some really good talent last year, some really good seniors. Tate Van Arleu, Jake Goldbush, Mason, just a couple guys that come off the top of my head. We're going to miss those guys tremendously, but I do feel like we have the underclassmen to kind of fill those shoes this year with athleticism and just kind of size. We did gain some size with some, I don't know, quote-unquote football players, okay, they're putting in the work. Big Cooper Nelson and Seth James and Joe Sharp, they'll be kind of looking to fill those post player positions. And then most of our guards are returners, so that's, I would say, probably our strong suit this year, personnel-wise, is our guard play, and then kind of getting feet wet, per se, with our post players. And once they kind of get the hang of things, hopefully we can get clicking, get going.
Coach, we'll kind of keep you on the hot seat here. You referenced last season a 15-6 record. You won over 70% of your games, but within Region 5A, that slotted you in the 5 slot. Yeah. Again, just welcome to Region 4A. Yeah. What are you kind of thinking within the region?
Our goal last year was to host a region playoff game. It's going to be tough again. Dakota Valley haven't lost in 2 years. Hopefully, not to sound a little too cocky or too confident, hopefully we play them the second game of the year. It's one of those games that is kind of circled on our schedule. If we are as good as we say we are, we gotta play those teams tough and give them a run for their money. So we got Dakota Valley. Vermilion's always tough. I don't know if it's public yet, but here you go. Breaking news: we will be playing Vermilion at USD campus at their Vermilion booster, so we'll get the opportunity to play at a college venue, and so that game will be fun, extra fun this year. They're kind of a smaller rivalry that we have, but playing them on a college campus will be awesome. And then we didn't even mention Lennox, who has just completely stacked. I think they'll start 5 players this year that all potentially could play college basketball. So to play them in our kind of goes those 3, and then after that it's kind of a free-for-all who wants that 4th spot to host a region playoff game. So hopefully we're kind of in the mix there towards the end.
Easton Boone, why don't you take over here a little bit?
What's your thoughts on the new foul rule, and does that affect any of your offense or defense?
And I told the parents at the parent-player meeting that asked me that question at the end of the year, how I feel about that rule. Just never experiencing it myself. It's definitely going to be interesting come end of quarters, especially at the end of games, where if you are a good free throw shooting team and we get the teams in foul trouble early in the first quarter or early in the third quarter, we're used to shooting those free throws for the last 10 minutes, and that getting reset, okay, it's kind of like, okay, now we got to start over, get them in as a team foul trouble again. So I think it'll lower possibly the free throws attempted per game, but also as well, there's not going to be as much stoppage either. I think it'll eliminate that hack-a-shack type style of play towards the end of games. So it forces us as coaches to kind of have to figure out game plan how we're going to handle those situations as well.
Guys, maybe take us through some of those summer things that you've put in. You always kind of talk about it in sports. It's the off season. I've kind of wandered through the gym at 6 a.m. I've seen some of you in there shooting and working. I wandered through it 8 o'clock at night, see you guys in there shooting and working. Maybe talk about, the off season and then kind of, what it's meant to put in those early mornings, late hours, getting ready for the season.
So yeah, this summer we did a lot of team camps, which really helped our team to, team bonding with losing that amount of those guys. We needed to come together and just get stronger as a team.
Yeah. Last year, the last game, we all kind of had that sour taste in our mouth. So just really motivation through the summer to work hard. And Rosie programs really helped our team, I feel like, to get stronger and faster. And just being able to put us in those that Pentagon League and those team camps, just to be able to work on our game as a team, and just getting the summer open gyms have really helped. And just everyone's been pushing each other, and I just feel like everyone kind of has that drive that we're going to be a good team this year, and that they see that potential.
Yeah, I think it's a really good opportunity for us to get to stay in the gym. I like a saying we like to use is never satisfied. No matter how hard we work, no matter how many wins we maybe had last season, none of that matters now. It's a new season, so we got to bring our A game. And shout out to Andrew for sure. I've never seen a guy get in the gym that much during an off season. It's ridiculous. So, and a lot of the guys been putting in that work. So, excited for this year.
Yeah, we're kind of in 2023. We call it an off season, but in basketball, football, all the sports, high school sports, for good or for bad, you can make the argument either way. There really isn't an off season anymore. The amount of time that these guys put into the weight room is remarkable, and I want to commend not only these guys here, but our entire program, their accountability and holding each other accountable, getting to the weight room and showing up to open gyms and doing those team camps. It's, I think, kind of what's moved our team in the direction that we're going. So props to the guys for doing it.
Coach, how does that mentality get set? Is it senior leadership? Is it coaching? What is it? I mean, I walked through the gym earlier this week, 6 a.m., and there were a couple of freshmen just trying to get a hoop.
Yep. So I think it's the senior leadership. So the last couple of years, we've had some awesome seniors that I've kind of made it the expectation my first year, and then last year's seniors, certain rules that I've established thinking it was going to be an issue or there'd be some resistance to it. They just kind of went all in on it without even me having to ask, and now it's just kind of become the norm, and these kind of guys have stepped in. And if you are a freshman, you saw that happening as a 8th grader, 7th grader, you don't know any better. You walk into a gym and you see the seniors doing it. They're going to be there at 6 in the morning as well without even thinking twice. So it's kind of a mixture of it all. It's me setting the expectations, and then the last few seniors, and then this class stepping in, and it's just hopefully that culture is created where as a coach, I can kind of just take a step back, and they're kind of taking that responsibility upon themselves.
John, what's the game on the schedule that you're circling? What's that rivalry or game that you really look forward to?
This year, I'd say Vermilion probably, because they brought back a lot of talent, and I think that we brought back a lot of talent, and I think they're a tough team for sure. Like, a lot of people are looking past, so I feel like Vermilion, especially being able to play on a big stage like that.
Yeah, playing at the Sanford Coyote Sports Center. Again, it's our regular season game with them, but it's just going to be in a format of like a classic. Yep. Aidan, who's that game on the schedule that you're circling?
Dakota Valley.
No surprise.
Yeah, definitely. Since I used to go there, it's been nice to have a bond with a few of the guys there, but it's kind of turned into a rivalry over the past few years. Definitely them being a team that has been praised the past couple of years, for their record and going back-to-back in state. I think that's definitely impressive for sure, but I think that we have the guys and we have the talent this year to knock them off. I think that we just got to play with heart, and that's definitely the game that's been circled.
Been able to catch the Bruns brothers down at USD yet?
Seen them a few times. They've been. I think it's really cool that they've been able to build that there and stay close to home.
Yeah, very good. Andrew, what's your game on the schedule?
I'm going to have to go with Aidan on this one. Dakota Valley last year, I was actually sick for that game, so I wasn't able to play them. So I just want to get back with the team and show them that we're a different team than previous years.
Coach has nicknamed you the Dunk God. What can the fans expect this year?
For me, I'm hoping that every game get a dunk and go from there. Maybe some lobs. Aidan, throw me some lobs. But yeah, just any chance I get, let's throw it down.
With your personnel change, I know Ben Arlu was very good with his slashing type. now without him, do you change your scheme? Do you go more for the 3 ball, or do you stick to that with Andrew?
I think we kind of stick to it the same way. People forget Andrew had an awesome year slashing, getting to the rim, but he's also in like 2 short games. Hopefully, he'll be in the top 5 of all-time three-pointers made in Beresford history as well. So he can shoot it, he can slash it. I think kind of the player who's going to step into Tate's role this year will probably be the Malachi James, getting to the rim. He's athletic. I think after a couple games, he'll draw a lot of attention, and then hopefully these guys can kind of feed off of that. And whether it's a 3-point shot or slashing off of Malachi's drive, I think he'll be a good complement piece. And if you're around here, you've heard of the name, but I feel like Malachi is kind of ready for a breakout season as a sophomore too. So he's kind of the new to the mix player for us this year.
I got some questions for players here. So do you guys have like a pregame kind of ritual that you do, and if so, what would that be?
I think last year we tried to implement it a little bit, but I think taking time before the game to say a quick prayer is definitely something that we're going to add into pregame this year. I think it's important that we thank God, win or lose, going into a game, that we have the opportunity to be there and to have this brotherhood that we've built. I think that's important to just take that time before every game.
Yep.
Okay.
I know all of you guys played basketball for a while, so I want to hear what's your fondest memory in high school basketball.
I can start out with this one. I would say best memory or that type of thing. I'd probably say getting my first dunk. That's what I'm known for. So, that first dunk was really awesome for me. Ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to dunk a basketball. So.
For me, it's probably the Madison game. I came off that game. I was sick against Vermillioner that week and played a JV game, half a JV game, pretty sick. And just being able to, we have a play, and it's meant for the 3-ball. So I hit 3 threes that game against Madison, just being able to take down that team we haven't beaten in 17 years. So just being able to beat Madison at Madison was pretty big.
I think my biggest moment was probably my threes in a game. I know it was kind of confusing during the game. I was had my 7, and I was kind of looking over at short. It was like later in the game, and I was kind of confused why I wasn't pulled out. And I guess at that time I didn't realize that that everybody thought I hadn't broken it yet. So I kept trying to get that one more 3, and came after the game in the locker room just to find out that I had broken it. It was just the greatest feeling. I will never forget that.
What would you say that basketball has taught you that carries over to other aspects in life?
I would say, it just teaches you to be a team player, like a leader, and that's something that throughout your whole life you're gonna have to be a leader. I mean, for parents, you got to be a leader for your kids, and it correlates to a lot of aspects in life.
Yeah, I feel like hard work, just like being a hard worker nowadays, like you need to work hard to get what you want. Like moving up in life, it takes hard work to move up in your job. So just putting that work in and realizing that there's results from it that maybe people don't see.
Yeah, I think it's important too to having that relationship with others. Maybe sometimes in your life, you'll have people you don't necessarily want to work with or be around, but and the same could go for basketball too. Maybe you don't necessarily like all your teammates or whatever, but you have to stick through it and you have to build that bond with them to accomplish a common goal.
And then what areas in your game would you say you have improved the most over the summer from last season?
I'd say I think I've definitely got a lot better at my finishing. Being a smaller guy, I've definitely relied more on the 3 and my outside shots, but I think I've definitely focused a lot this summer and off season working on my finishing ability, because when someone's able to take away my 3 or whatever, I have to have something else to rely on and a different aspect of my game to be strong.
Yeah, I've also worked on driving and creating contact. I feel like that's a big part. You can shoot, but if your shot's not on, you need to take that first drive to the basket, get some free throws in you, and then you can work from there. So I feel like really that helped, especially playing in the summer, being able to play against competition and drive. So I feel like that helped.
Yeah, I'd say for me, probably defense. It's the most important thing as a basketball player to have good defense. In the past couple of years, I just kind of just let guys go by me. But this year, I stepped it up, got more conditioning in, so I'll be able to focus on my defensive part of the game as well as my offense.
I have a question that I guess all of you can answer, but I guess it's more towards Short. I see you have a new assistant coach.
Yes.
What does he bring to the table on both motivation and coaching for your guys?
Coach Lepke, Matt Lepke, came to us this year from Ethan. He was the JV girls coach up there. He brings the knowledge, the IQ of basketball. He's a younger gentleman, so bringing in that youth to our program, that energy, that fire. He's very passionate about basketball and Beresford basketball. He's excited to be here. He teaches at the elementary school. And I kind of did my first year too. You wish you could see the guys more every single day. So he's excited for the season to start next week, to get to know the guys a little better. And I think he'll be a great fit for our program moving forward, as we're not only trying to build these guys up, but from the youth level, middle school level, I think he'll appeal to a lot of our younger players as well.
Other media questions you have for the guys?
So who was the 3-point game against the director?
Garrettson last year.
And I don't recall, if you had 7 threes on a team, they're probably going to be pretty aware next year. So how do you kind of adapt that plan? They're probably going to try to take that away quite a bit. How do you combat that?
I definitely, like I said, in my off season, I worked a lot on my finishing. So if guys are more keen, I think they will be this year, of my shooting ability. I think that it's important for me to look for other guys that are open. I think by driving and kicking out, or leaving it to other guys to knock those shots down, that'll be more important.
Andrew, what about you? I mean, if you're the dunk god, right?
Yeah.
Kind of people are assuming
Mhm.
you're trying to get to the rim, right? What do you see your opponents do to kind of keep you out of there? What kind of adaptations are they making?
Yeah, they kind of just are off back more. So if I just can knock some threes down, they'll play up on me, and then I can slash to the rim and do that. But if they keep playing off, then I just keep shooting threes.
And I think just playing overall more of a team offense as well. Andrew might be the leading scorer one night. It might be Aidan the next, John the next, or Kai, or whoever steps in. I kind of see us as any of the top 7 guys can kind of go off on any given night. That you can face guard Andrew all you want if that's your strategy. We're going to have Aidan and Malachi and others that will be able to, and John, to step up and kind of fill those shoes. So it's kind of pick your poison, I guess, this year, hopefully for us.
Perfect. That kind of leads into my next question. So we've talked about these 3, of course, a bunch. We've talked about Malachi James a little bit. So kind of who are those next 3 guys that are really duking it out and trying to earn minutes after that?
I don't want to forget anybody, but Tegan Nyhog, another sophomore. He's put in a lot of work, and he's one of those kiddos that when I first got here, I think he was going into his 8th grade year, he was like 5'7", 5'8", just kind of baby faced a little bit. I'm not picking on him, but now all of a sudden he shows up to the first day of school and he's walking in at 6'4", and he's just grown so much in just a short amount of time. He's put in the work, and now his body's kind of starting to catch up with the work he's put in, and he's always, I think I joked with someone else that he's always had the green light with me. He's always been a pure shooter. He might have almost too much confidence when it comes to shooting a 3, but now just having that size, and he's put on a little strength to improve his overall game defensively and rebounding. I think he'll be a great asset to us coming off the bench, kind of like that 6-man.
All right, Aidan, we were kind of teasing about this walking down the hallway from the gymnasium photo shoot to here. And you referenced, you're not going to be the tallest guy on the floor, but the black and blue eyes really got to add some credibility on the floor, right? Some street cred.
Oh yeah, It's just adds this level of confidence. I think I know it's just preseason. It was kind of just a fluke accident, but I wouldn't be surprised if you guys saw me around walking after a game day with a black eye. I like to play with that passion and that fire. Just like to be unmatched.
Yep. And after Aidan's one of those guys after every game, shake hands with the coach. It's always, man, that 21. He never gives up, or he never backs down, and he gets himself into trouble sometimes on the court with that attitude and that mentality. We have to reel him back a little bit with fouls and things like that, but it's contagious, and that attitude and that kind of swagger he brings, it catches on to the other players who might not bring that themselves game in and game out. So.
And just scrimmaging, Aidan's always the guy that's hyping us all up. I mean, his defense, he's all up in your grill, and it just brings that to everyone else and makes everyone go harder.
All right, guys, want to thank you for the time you've made for us here as part of the Media Winter Show, and wish you guys the best of luck on the 23-24 season.
Much appreciated. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
I can just ask it, though. I was just going to ask.
Yeah.
So have you guys played in a arena like the SCSC, or is this going to be the first time playing in an arena that large?
We've actually played there the last 2 summers at their team camp. So we've been fortunate enough to play on their main court even too, because during those camps they have their side courts open and everything like that. So we've played on the court itself. It's a little kind of awkward when it's just a team camp and there's no one there. So hopefully it's a big enough place. Hopefully we have a lot of fans in there. So being part of the women's, I was the scout team there too, so it's kind of like the home field advantage for USD back in the day when they played in the dome, having all that space behind there. It's kind of the same thing for these guys, not having that experience with the bigger facilities, getting that depth perception down, shooting at that rim. Hopefully that experience in the past 2 summers will kind of help us going into that. It won't be a brand new experience. So.
All right. Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.